All
What up, people? No intro. Just gonna jump in.
what it do?
Got Dre on here. What up, man?
Shit.
Yeah, like I was saying, yeah, like G forces, like the experience and shit.
Hmm.
Yeah, it doesn't make any. Uh, oh,
What brought that about? What don't make sense about it?
actually, I was like, what happened was I was searching crap and a site called Physics Fact Book. Actually, pretty cool. And I was just like going through there, looking at the shit about like acceleration and all that crap. And then I get to like G forces, and then like I'm reading crap on it, and it's like 6 G's, but 6 times your body weight is like
Mhm.
for a few seconds. It's supposed to be dangerous. You could die dangerous.
I was about to say virtually deadly.
Yeah, yeah, and the way they say it's like like and what is it? It says like the average person can take, or actually that's where it got all crappy. So when I started reading it, it said a trained pilot can handle 9 G's for only a few seconds before it becomes like average person like me or you can handle 5 G's for a few seconds before like the onsets of the dangerous parts start happening.
Shit.
Here's where it gets crazy. So I go to swear to God, NASA's website. They said on launch and reentry, the space shuttle never saw more than 3 G's.
What?
Yeah, never saw more than 3 G's. And now here's the funny part. So there's a Formula One like stats on it, like a Formula One car,
Mm,
funny weird looking fast ones.
mm.
When it's taking a hard turn, those things hit 9 G for it's like a couple seconds. There's the vomit comet. You guys know, right? That thing
Yeah.
that stands that alone has 4.5.
Well, no, the vomit comet's the thing that they do the parabolic exercises where they
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
simulate
that's what it is.
weightlessness.
Yeah, my bad.
Yeah.
I was okay. Oh, okay, I wrote that down. Vomit comet plane, vomit comet roll. the plane the plane actually uh is a flowing negative or a flowing 0 G. So it's like a consistent 0 G's.
Mhm.
It doesn't make no damn sense to me.
Yeah.
So I was like, but that was the thing that confused me because I was trying to find out like what and what how it doesn't make how are all these things that we can experience are so much higher of a G force than something going 20, what is it, 17,000 consistently and 25 to leave atmosphere? At 25,000 miles an hour, I would.
You'd be experiencing like massive amounts of G force.
Yeah, like you feeling that shit.
The only thing I can see where somebody could possibly try to justify that is because they'll say, as long as you're traveling straight, you won't feel it. But as soon as you try to turn, you would feel it, which still doesn't make no sense because you would still be thrust back into the seat
And then
or whatever.
that's where the shit got funny. So I'm like, I was trying to figure that out because the force is going to be different, obviously going up, going down, and horizontal.
All right.
So like on reentry, the astronauts would basically feel -2 and -3 G force, which is the limit. Like that's the max that the body can handle. Or like your brain swells and all that fun
Mm-hmm.
stuff. which they say you can actually explode. I don't know. Damn. Like they said that your brain cavities, your eye, the vessels in your eyes, everything fills up with blood, and if it, obviously fills up too much, they say it will burst.
Right.
But I thought that was pretty fucking crazy. Um, then vertical, like takeoffs. Didn't launches. Yeah, see, because it says it feels only three Gs during launch from manned space and rocket.
That's what they're saying. It feels like during launch, 3G.
Yeah, they said 3Gs is max that an astronaut feels. I think sounds kind of bullshitty.
Yeah, that kind of. So, all right. So the max is 3Gs, but wouldn't they experience more than 3Gs during launch?
That's all. That's what it
By
says.
like,
It says NASA says the astronaut or an astronaut's experience a maximum G-force of Gs during rocket launch plus G suit plus training. So that means they feel probably 1.5 G is the suit.
man, that's some bullshit.
Yeah,
How the
like
hell? How the
like
hell's a suit gonna stop you from experiencing the G force?
it's what I guess the G suit.
Pressure or something?
It like so have you ever seen like a video of like pilots
Yeah.
doing that thing to counter the G forces? Like it's
This, I think they're in a centrifuge or something like that, or whatever they call that thing.
yeah, but it's like a method they called called I don't remember. Are you are you watching the
I
YouTube?
know what you're talking about, though. Actually, I'm trying to find it.
Yeah.
For some reason, I can't.
First video pops up is passing out from the G.
And it probably only takes about 4 or 5, if that.
Here's one. It says 9 years ago. Actually, I can play this. It's funny. Stream flying pilot pulled 11.2 Gs in a Red Bull air race.
I don't know.
Fuckery to me.
Sounds a little fishy. Definitely don't pass the smell test. Yeah, why can't I find this damn stream?
What up, McVice? Me and Dre are just chilling, talking about G forces at the moment.
Who that?
McVice just showed up. Got right now.
What up, McVice?
Uh, yeah, I found one. I found one of that. It says the Red Bull guy that did 11.2. Supposed to be some kind of little heater that comes up when it's about to do
Oh, they got a G meter.
it.
Yeah, how they have a G meter? That's kind of like South Park having the shit counter up in the corner.
I remember that.
They said that shit like 80 sometimes too. I was like, damn, they getting it in.
Oh, so they don't have the little heater while you watch it.
That was fake, man.
I just don't believe it because Max, I can see. See, you don't even want to hear the record. So check this. So we're talking about all this shit, all this blacking out at 6 Gs, 9 Gs, and all that crap.
Mm.
In 1954, Yes, I did say 1954. A guy named John Strapp did 25 Gs for 1.1 second test plane. Like real shit, 25.
Listen, first of all, if you're doing 25, if you're doing, if you're going fast enough to pull a 25G turn, how can you calculate it in 1 second?
Real shit.
And you know what I mean? Like it's going to take you. It's going to take 1 second to experience that G force in the first place. How can you know what I mean? It just don't even whatever. That don't even sound right.
Hey, McVice, do you have any clue what it's called that they do to counter counter that first thing? It's called something.
Is it the breathing technique?
Yeah. That's what I was trying to figure out what it's called, but
Yeah, I know you're talking about. I don't know what it's called though, but I know it's a breathing
oh, it's
technique.
called hic hic hic. Like hiccups.
Hicks. Yeah, that's what it is. Something like that. Yeah. That shit's crazy. Yeah, why can't I not
Rachel
find
Elizabeth
the damn shit?
2011 writes, I like your hat. Have you ever seen the Blue Angels in person? Good. They can't use those.
Hit it, that's when the G's make go on the airplane. And do that hick maneuver that Chad probably taught. There you go.
Yeah,
Remember, hold that hick. 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 Sometimes they go, hick.
They got you on incognito
Just sit there.
channel.
And that won't last very long.
That was my pilot, who was about 6'4" and totally could have pulled off any nickname he wanted. He was explaining the hick maneuver, where you flex your legs and then flex your abdomen and then aggressively hold your breath so you put pressure on your arteries and all your blood stays where it's supposed to. You can tell I'm kind of not doing it right. If you do it wrong, you pass out, and that's all I could really think about.
Here we go. Coming on, there's military power.
So I'm sitting in the back of an FA-18 fighter jet, which is sort of like, imagine if you were in a Ford Pinto that's recently undergone $40 million in renovations, and you've been told not to touch anything.
Now, here come the afterburners kicking in. There's a high. There we go. There's 100 knots. There's 220.
Oh, you guys fly around. I want to.
Warning.
260.
Warning.
Ready to go flying a little bit?
Did you hear the warning thing? It's hard to answer the question, are you ready to go flying a little bit, when the warning thing goes off. But I actually did feel safe.
What were you saying?
He looks like he's having fun.
Fuck yeah. I ain't gonna lie, I'd jump in a plane any day.
Shit, you and me both.
Because I know they have one in about the G. What's up, Fluffy Toke? Yeah, it creeps me out too. That's why I turned it real.
What it do?
Got Dre on here. I have an idea how the suit works. It doesn't.
But it's just a pressure suit that all it does is changes. It changes. At stake the pressure. Was more than just a comfortable ride. Pressure.
Yeah, it's kind of like how you would wear like you know how they make those Under Armours that you can that keep you warm or blah blah blah.
It's a compression.
Yeah, it's basically that, I guess.
Yeah, no, I mean, I get that, but I'm just trying to wrap my mind. I mean, I never really thought about it, but I'm just trying to wrap my mind how actually just because the body is within a pressurized suit, how does that counteract the effects of G-force?
So, okay, I see what it is.
Because the suit is still in motion with the body, it's just under pressure.
Yeah. So, from what I remember, because it just popped in my head. So what happens is, you know, the breathing technique that we just saw. Where it goes hick. Mm-hmm. So when you do that, you know how your body gets tense.
Mm-hmm.
I think the suit is an added. It's just that tense part. So it's
right. It increases the pressure. Like, yeah, I mean, I get that, but if you got something traveling at like 27 G forces or whatever that equates to be in miles per hour. Like, what is that suit really doing?
So on Wikipedia it says designed to prevent a blackout and G-lock, loss of consciousness, caused by blood pool part of the body or acceleration, thus depriving the brain of like explain what it does. Damn it.
But listen, the thing that stands out to me about the definition of that G suit, it says, let me see if I can read that. Warren, no, stop scrolling. Oh, it's gone now. But it said basically it's designed to keep the blood from pooling at the bottom of the body during takeoff. Is that what it said?
Yeah, during acceleration. Yeah.
Okay, so now how does that suit prevent the blood from pooling on the left or the right side of the body in a heavy G turn? You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like
Yeah, exactly. Okay, I see.
so
Yeah.
so yeah, it can stop the blood from pooling in the body at the bottom of the body on the takeoff, but how does it stop the blood from all flowing to one side of the body when you're pulling a high G left or right turn maneuver?
Or any. Well, I don't see how it does it at all. Because
Yeah, neither
like,
do I, because it's still in motion.
well, yeah, that, and it's like if when you do that the hick thing to counter
Hmm.
it, like you feel the tension, like the compression and the tenseness in your whole body. But how does something
Right.
that's just on your outer body affecting the
Control the
inside?
inside.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Exactly. It can. I mean, I can see how it could help lessen the effect. Yeah, I can see how that might be possible, but it just kind of don't. I don't know. I mean, we know G forces are real. We all experience them. Even on a small scale. But
On the site it says by using the modern G suit combination with something called an anti-G strain. Vice was just talking about
anti G string.
strain.
Oh, I'm like, word? They doing it like that?
What up, Under? How you doing, sir? Damn, I haven't seen you in a hot one. Nick's in the chat. Nick just showed up.
What up?
Yeah, it's crazy. I'm gonna see a bunch of people that I haven't seen in a while that didn't know I was streaming on the Flat Earth, the frontline soldier. And then I also have to go through this shit, figure out who never went to this channel for the streaming because none of them have mods. Yeah. Okay, so back to what we were doing. So yeah, this. You still there, Dre?
Yeah, I'm still
Okay,
here.
checking. Trying to find my string. That's a crazy thing. Like, I clicked on that little icon, that
Hmm.
training includes. It's got a Google anti-G training. It says maneuver. Sometimes they say shit on here. Don't make any. What up, Flat Earth Unity? Matter of fact, welcome Flat Earth Unity and Fluffy Toke to the Sean G account.
What's up, fellas?
Realize you guys never probably heard me stream on this one. Yeah, my shit. I don't even know why I didn't say nothing. So, if anyone didn't know, this is my first live stream back. Sean G account was obviously restricted due to some porn bombing from either HSP gang or Lodi Says. Either one, doesn't really matter who did it. They're still fuckboys. But guess what? I'm back, bitches. always be here. So what I decided I'll do is most likely like when we're doing these builds and research and shit, I'll use this. When it's time to go in on one of you dumbass motherfuckers out there, go into the soldier. That's how I think it'll work out. That way I'll have
Yeah.
a nice little balance between the stream. But yeah, other than that, yeah, welcome guys. Sean G account.
Yeah.
Back to what we were done. Oh yeah, that's what I just gave it. Okay. I gotta make sure I give them. Alright, so like a fucking girdle kind of leg apparatus.
Yeah, so it doesn't even it's not they don't even have it. It's not even a part of the upper body.
Well, this part isn't. But this I guess this goes under. Yeah, it goes under the G suit. But see, that doesn't make sense. Why would let's just say why would an astronaut wear one of these? It said both wear them. Why would they wear them if they only deal with these? Oh, so if anybody doesn't know, I just got here. I started doing some research on G forces and acceleration, all that stuff, and came across a website that was saying that basically like a typical person can handle 5 Gs for a few seconds, and a trained pilot can handle 9 Gs for a few seconds. That was what that said. And as I continue on, you second, and then I'll get you on the panel. Where is it? And then as I go into the research, I find something that says that basically 9 Gs for more than 3 seconds is deadly, like deadly, deadly. Same with 6 Gs. 6 Gs can do the same thing for a longer period of time. So, the second I was reading that, I went, damn, how much could those fucking astronauts feel? They probably feel a shit ton. Like, holy crap. Yeah, apparently, even though they go, what, 3 times faster than a fighter jet, somehow during launch, they only feel 3 Gs. 3 Gs! And I was telling Dre a little while ago, stuff like a Formula One in a corner feels 6.3. And I didn't say this one because this is the one that's going to really make everyone laugh. So the Apollo shuttles, you all saw how crappy those things were built. It says during re-entry, the Apollo 16 felt 7.19 Gs. And
So
that was definitely for more than 3 seconds.
So technically, this roadster that they just launched up into space is experiencing more G's than the astronaut.
Yes.
I can see him now. He's banking hard turns around Saturn. Fucking alien Andretti out this piece.
Crazy.
Oh my goodness. I can't believe that. Well, I ain't even gonna talk about that. That shit is crazy.
Trying to find, because I'm on a website for that. Jeez, crap, garment, as you would call it.
Yeah, I got a G suit undergarment. It's called Fruit of the Loom.
Yeah, this shit is crazy.
That's my G suit.
This site is basically saying like, it's talking like 1 and 2, like the highest G force that I've seen this thing even talking about is 4 Gs. I want to see how it makes pilots handle 9 Gs.
I want to see an experiment with one of these pilots experiencing 9 Gs.
To show you a Red Bull pilot who apparently experienced. Yeah, somehow and then we just saw a video of a guy in a Red Bull race the propeller planes that that supposedly hit 11.2 G. See, all these numbers of things that do that fucking sounds ridiculous.
A prop plane?
Yep.
Was it one of those stunt planes?
I wouldn't call it a stunt plane.
You know what I'm talking about? They got them freestyle planes. They be doing all them crazy tricks in.
Yeah, they're smaller than that, but I'll pop them. I don't know how to explain it. They're small. They're not as big as a regular plane. They're all like nimble. So this is like that. A CGI everything. What the fuck? Okay, actually, this is perfect. So
yeah, that's what I'm talking
about. This isn't a real plane. I hope. Shit, it is.
That's a real plane. That's what I was talking about. That's what they're like, freestyle planes or trick planes. They do all kind of shit that a typical plane can't do.
Oh, okay. It's just gutted out, so it's frame. All right, yeah, but this is, I mean, that's the size. If you can see there, that's the size of one fucking thing. Actually, pretty, really small.
See, the first time when you first said a prop plane, I was thinking about like a Wright brothers bi-wing.
Like biplanes, yeah. Yeah, no. That's crazy to make any sense. All right, hang on 1 second. I'll go on for a sec.
Yeah, I'm gonna step out for. Actually, you know what? I'm on my phone. I can step with the phone. Go get my smoke on.
What the hell you eat? Talk to you. Okay, good.
Hang out, Mike. My landlord was here, so.
I was about to say, what you eating, man? I hear you smacking and shit.
I was eating my chips, so I didn't have to say anything.
Damn, now I'm hungry.
All right. So sorry about that, people. So was it? McVice said we're supposedly moving around the moon. Wait, around the moon? Sun, McVice? I get. I mean, I get what you're saying, but I'm trying to figure out which one. I'm assuming he meant the sun. He says that we're supposedly moving around the moon, aka I think the sun, at Mach 90 right now. I don't even know what the hell Mach 90 means.
But we ain't experiencing no kind of G-force.
But we don't feel none of it. So wait. Does that mean everything? So
shit, Mach
okay.
90, that's like a fucking 90 times your fucking body weight.
So like I get
plus the 1,000 miles per hour that the damn globe is spinning. Fuck out of here. We should be drunk than a motherfucker throwing up.
Every 5 minutes. Let's go.
Damn.
So like if you were able to, which is impossible, get on a merry-go-round doing 100 miles an hour, I could you would instantly fly off of it. So there's that scenario. If you started on one, you would instantly feel the acceleration. My bad, Flat Earth Union. I'm doing that as I speak right now. But to not feel that centrifugal force, for one, you'd have to be closed off to everything spinning around it. So
or standing at the middle.
Yeah, but you would well, if you're standing at the middle, would you feel dizzy if you were looking at everything?
Nope. It's the only place where centrifugal force has no effect is at the center. That's why you can think about it. You can get on a merry-go-round. Say if you got a merry-go-round that's 10 foot in circumference or whatever. If you're standing in the middle of that merry-go-round and it's doing 100 miles an hour, you ain't gonna feel shit. I mean, you'll see, everything spinning around. You may feel a little bit of, a little, not even disorientation, but a little shit will look weird because you're spinning. You're seeing shit in 360 degrees. But if you're out on the outside of that merry-go-round, you fucking toast. You flying the fuck off and you drunk as fuck. But you're not going to get that same effect in the middle because the middle is such a tight radius. You don't get that dizzy effect.
Then shouldn't we get that dizzy effect at 1,000 miles if we're looking out at stars in the?
No, but that's one of the things that kind of blows the fact that they claim we're spinning out the fucking water, because if the Earth is spinning at 1,000 miles per hour at the equator, you should be spinning faster than you are at the North Pole, right?
Yeah.
So technically, when you take into account shit like gravity at 9.8 meters a fucking second or whatever the fuck they claim it is, you should experience more body weight at the equator than you should at the pole. So you should weigh more at the equator than you do at the pole, because that centrifugal force is trying to fling your fucking body weight off the planet while it's spinning, where you wouldn't have that same effect at the center, at the North Pole. Yeah, so it's all bullshit.
Yeah, because what were we talking about the other day? Oh, so I was reading some shit about the moon. How supposedly when the moon's overhead, it's supposed to make your body weight 5% less because of, quote unquote, the moon's gravity.
Which is bullshit, because now how the fuck does the moon's little ass fucking 1/4 Earth gravity fucking supersede the Earth's gravity and pull your? Get the fuck out of here! Yeah, well, it's just like with the tides. How the fuck does the moon supposedly cause the tides here on the Earth, and it just overpowers the fucking Earth's gravity and says, "Give me that."
Yeah.
For 12 motherfucking hours. Get the fuck out of here!
I was reading a site that was saying that when I found out that the moon is tidal locked, I was reading a thing on there, and it was saying that basically Earth gravity is making get a nipple in a basketball.
Mm-hmm.
The moon is getting that, and then also the Earth is supposedly doing the same thing, which doesn't make any sense at all.
It makes no sense.
Because first of all, how does one part of the Earth make this nipple, and we're spinning so fast? Wouldn't the equator basically just to be expanding out.
Yeah, and not only that, all the water would be at the equator, and all the land masses would be at the equator if they were floating on the so-called magma or whatever they're supposed to be floating on.
Yeah, once you start looking into like the forces and stuff, that's when everything starts getting off.
Yeah,
because
to say the least.
Yeah, because that what I just read about the Apollo 16 feeling 7 Gs on re-entry. How does the Apollo 16 hit 7 Gs but the shuttle doesn't? Like what?
The terminal velocity is a motherfucker.
Yeah.
What?
And then also, how does the shuttle feel the same Gs launching as it does re-entering? Because re-entry is supposed to be like fastest and the most dangerous, isn't it?
Yeah, apparently because you got to enter the atmosphere, and not only that, but you got to contend with the gravity of Earth. This shit's a joke.
Yeah. Hit it. Try it again.
Joke.
Yeah, it's really like that's probably the most
people try to defend this stuff.
Yes, that's what I was just gonna say. There are people out there that like will talk to you like you're crazy for the things you say. For instance, I don't know if he's here or not, but he talked a big game like he was gonna be here. Some guy in the Google Plus side of everything, he basically was like been challenging me every time I post something on one of these debate channels, and I posted I just blah blah blah. I just I just uploaded a NASA video to this account, and it was the main thing for it was first of all, ISS doesn't see very much. They only see like 3% at a time. And then also remember the pictures that we get that are supposed to be on the moon, and then they're a picture of Earth from on the moon. Looks all nice and small. Yeah. So I basically,
it should be much larger.
Yeah. So I find what's supposed to be a video from a satellite from 31 billion miles away. Exactly.
But we don't have no pictures of Earth.
And guess what it looked like? The Earth looked like a big ass fucking ball, and the moon looked like a small little meat.
Yeah, did you see that roadster up there pulling G's around the Earth?
I'm not gonna lie, man. I've seen that on everybody's stream. To this day, I'm still so confused why this car thing everyone's talking about.
I seen a lot of, and I just had to kind of briefly look at it, but apparently they supposedly, I guess it was SpaceX. Apparently they launched a roadster, like a real car, like a regular typical car. They didn't like use no special materials or nothing. They just basically launched a car in the outer space, and the car is like flying through space.
Wait, what? Seriously.
The car is flying through space with like a regular typical windshield, you know what I'm saying?
Wait, so let me get this straight.
This shit probably got spinnies in a booming system.
Hang on. So what you're telling me is we give them $59 million a day to launch a fucking car. That hurts my heart.
It's not even it's not even modified or nothing. It's just like a straight up car. They probably didn't even drain the oil out the
Well, Dre,
they probably put some 91 octane up in that piece.
Why would they drain the oil out? If it gets to Mars, then when we do go to Mars, we'll have a car.
You want to drive that shit? It's gonna get dusty though.
Why did they use a truck?
Yeah, and it's a convertible.
Oh my god. So they really did that shit. Damn.
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't even know all the details about it because when I started kind of like just looking at little 2 and 3 minute videos that was messing with it, I was like, oh man, this ain't even worth looking into.
Wow.
Oh man.
Yeah, so I pulled up that video. Uploaded I did. So do you see that image on the tube?
Oh shit. Let me what the hell happened? Hold on. Oh yeah. Yeah, I see it now.
So what you're
What the
looking
hell
at
is that?
Yeah, so I'll play it right now. So
In 2008, NASA claims to have
That's some special shit.
okay, so the picture from this is a picture that we're pretty much all used to seeing, right? We've all seen this before. The one from on the moon, picturing the planet of Earth, or picturing Earth, and that obviously Earth looks pretty damn small, right? So this is from our first picture I showed you was 239,000 miles away. This one video is taken from 31 million miles away. Now the important part is
Wow.
how big Earth was from the moon. Now this is 31 million miles away. Look at the size difference here.
That's insane.
And this is supposed to be like NASA's big
31
like
million
I'm
miles
sorry,
away.
where they like here's our raw footage. Yes, what you see is not a meatball. What you see is supposedly the moon. Now, my question is from 31 million miles away, how the hell is the moon so small, or how the hell is Earth so small compared to the moon, which I get, but for what they say and that picture says, that Earth should be small.
It should be a lot smaller than that.
Because
you shouldn't even be able to see the moon.
Exactly. Yeah. I thought, maybe I'm crazy, I thought large objects seem smaller the further away you go. Apparently, when you get to space,
last time I checked,
yeah. Apparently, when you get to space, it's reverse. So if you're like, 300 miles, we'll say, from the surface, you can see all of Earth. Just go check out ISS. They'll show you all of Earth.
It's cosmic lensing.
Yeah. Oh, that is so aggravating. I cannot believe it. So yeah, it's first of all, let's put it this way: anything they say, I take with no value at all. Period. For these two images alone, this one and this.
I know. Maybe that telescope had on its Urkel glasses.
Hey, I don't know. My brain hurts trying to figure it out. What the hell is going on?
That's unbelievable.
It makes zero sense. It makes so little sense that it pisses me off.
31 million miles away, and it's bigger than from the moon.
Yeah, makes zero sense. Zero fucking sense. And like I said, I got the video and the picture before of the meatball in the Earth. I got those from NASA's site, not some random site out of nowhere. Both those were from the NASA site. And when NASA put this one out that you can see now, NASA was talking like that was like, okay, well, you guys want real footage? You want like non-edited? That was supposed to be it.
Yeah. Wow. And I'll say that footage is old, isn't it?
It was from
it's been out for a while.
I think 2000 or no. See, this one was from 2008, but it didn't even come out until 2012 was the earliest one video date that I've seen.
All right.
And then that was also And then I don't even know if anyone realized it or not, but yeah, the moon supposedly went into tidal lock sometime in the past 6 months. And I say that because when I first got here, one of my like it's a globe thing had everything to do with the rotation of the moon. Not it orbiting Earth. I'm talking about it rotating. It was supposed to be it rotated. Remember that. It supposedly rotated. It took 27 days for the moon to make a full revolution of itself. And now, okay, here's the best part. So now it's tidal locked. Now, if everyone doesn't know what tidal lock means, that means that the side of the Earth or the moon that we are looking at right now will forever be what we only see because it does not rotate. But if you go, but they say it still rotates, but because of the tidal lock, we can't notice it.
Yeah, see, but I've known that the moon was tidal locked since like I was a kid. So to me that's not new news. I think if anything, it's just people have been misinterpreting when they say that the moon rotates, and I think it's something they shouldn't say because it really don't rotate. It orbits from what they claim. Yeah, in that model, it orbits, but it doesn't rotate. And that's what the title lock is. We've always seen that same face, and we always will. That's something that's been,
But see, that's the
from day
crazy
one,
part.
as far as I know.
That's crazy because I've never heard of that. I didn't hear that until recently. Everything I've always read was that it did rotate. But
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
then,
I think that those descriptions are misleading because the moon doesn't actually rotate; it orbits from what they claim according to their model.
yeah, but I remember distinctly growing up learning that the reason we don't see the other side of the moon is because when it is facing us, the moon it's during the daytime because it's in the sun between the sun Earth radius, in that gap, and that's why we don't see that side of the moon. And honestly, it wasn't until within the last 4 months that I even heard that it was in tidal lock.
Yeah, see that now to me that sounds weird because, like I said, I've always known since I was a kid that the moon was in what they call the tidal lock, and in essence, is it basically the same orbit or the same rotation as the Earth. So it's really not rotating at all.
Well, see, that's the thing.
If you think about it.
So, what was it 3 months ago? At best, is when I found out about it, and again, NASA site explained it as it does rotate, but because of how a tidal lock is, what a tidal lock is, we don't notice its rotation. And then I was just now thinking about it. If you get like a tennis ball and you tape or you tie a rope and tape it, I suggest you do that so you don't kill anybody. And then you just start spinning yourself around
like a ball and hammer.
Yeah, exactly. That
It's
tennis
not
ball
rotating.
does the same thing the moon does. Exactly, it's not rotating at all. So
Yeah,
how?
exactly.
So how could
That's
they even
why I
say
said
that?
it's misleading. It's misleading. That's exactly why I said it's misleading because it's not rotating at all. It's just going around in a circle, face locked to the Earth. That's why I said it's misleading, and I don't know why they say that. But I think they do it purposely to confuse people because people think that, oh, that's weird that it works like that it's actually tidal locked, but yet it's still rotating. And when they actually try to ponder it and see the mechanics and how that actually works, they can't figure it out because it's something you can't figure out. Literally sit there and try to think of how the Earth is supposedly rotating, and at the same time, the moon is tidal locked to the Earth, meaning we see the same view of it constantly forever, but yet it's rotating.
And it pisses me off that it wasn't that clear.
It's a mind fuck. It's a mind fuck.
Yeah, it's a lie. It was a lie they made so simple that you don't think about it. You don't question it.
Yeah. And when you actually think about it, you realize how the impossibility of it, and you just dismiss it because you think, oh well, NASA knows better than, and they're smart, they can figure it out, and this is not for me to know, type mentality. It's crazy. It don't work though. Think about it.
Insane.
How's something rotating when you see the same face of it constantly forever? It's not rotating.
Damn. And it pisses me off that it wasn't that clear. clear in reality.
Yeah, well, see, that's a problem that's indicative with these people that believe in the globe is when you actually you think about some of the most simplistic things like that, they still just dismiss it as, oh well, NASA or whoever said it, so it must be true because these are the authorities on this stuff, and they're not.
Well, that's the other thing. Just if you like, just kind of like I was doing this last night, where where basically I pulled like all my notes out. I'm trying to trying to get some kind of organization out of it, and I'm just like looking through like stats and things I have. There's so much that makes it's such bullshit that when when you actually find that and you start looking at it, you're going, man, how the hell was I just that stupid to believe that crap? Like, I'm not sure if you knew, like, I kind of figured out how the Big Bang could just be impossible. And then everything else be how it is. So, I mean, it's just fucking insane. Because I was looking at, remember you asked me what made me start looking into all this G-force and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah.
But what it was, I'm not going to say the name, it was obviously a channel that I don't agree with.
Right. Okay.
So, I started looking into the research part of it, and it started me off at like what the blood volume of an adult human has, and how the person was saying that people with certain things have far less blood volume, which I didn't even get because I had no clue about blood volume and all that kind of stuff until I started looking into it. But this person claims, fuck it, I can't do that. It's on this whole Margellin shit. This person claimed that people with Margellins has 7.5 to 50% less blood than the average person. And the second I read that, it instantly pissed me off.
Wait. Say that again.
Okay. So I'm going to read you word for word how it was put. People with disease, this is on a Margellin site, site, says with disease have 7% to 50% less blood than the average person.
I'd say that's bull just by hearing it.
Yeah, well, that's what tailwinded me into all this damn research. Now, here's what they did. Because after doing more, I figured exactly how this person came up with that statistic. So it says the average adult has 4.7 liters in their body at any given time. You, me. Someone that is 80 pounds has half. So I weigh 170. So someone half my body weight has half as much blood. Makes sense. I can deal with that. Makes sense. And it says an 8-pound infant, has 8 ounces. What the person did was they took somebody bigger.
Weight-based statistic.
Exactly. And what they didn't realize is that it can't. It's not a set number. So I may not have exactly as much blood as you have, but it sure as hell ain't no 7% to 50%.
Right, exactly. It's very misleading to use that. That's actually bullshit.
Well, that's what I like. If people have information that makes sense that you can look into, even if it's not 100% accurate, as long as it has that truth in it, I can deal with it. But when people throw numbers out and the majority of people don't take an extra step. They don't fact check everything they read. And I don't know how. I feel the need to always do it. But people like the person that posted this upload and said this about the percentage, basically they pry on the fact that people don't look into anything. Because if you run and think about that, if I have half the blood in my body, I can tell you this from personal experience. If I
You being bad
at 15%,
at your weight.
yeah, at 15% loss of blood, you black out. Just so everyone knows, 15%. These are actual facts
So you'd be on the
based
verge
on
of death.
at 160. At the time, I was 160. At 160, 15% of blood loss is basically you're on death's doorstep. Okay, that's personal experience.
That's what they call bleeding out.
Exactly. This is from trauma surgery that I had. the doctor, when I got out of surgery and I woke up, explained to me where I was at when they went to surgery. Okay, I was at 13%. The blood was stopped when all the blood flow was stopped. I wasn't leaking anymore. I was at 13%. That's how close I got. So when I read the 50%, or no,
it's laughable.
It's purely ridiculous. And yeah, like I said, it's a lot of it's just so based on this fear porn that it's sickens me. And I have to say something. I cannot just let it ever slide. I actually talked to somebody the other day who actually told me, "Hey, you know, you're like pissing off a lot of flat earthers. And not gonna make very many friends doing that." And I went, "Oh well, trust me, guys, the people that are in the chat right now, and I get that Bro Sanchez is on. That's like there are people doing that before I started, but people here, Dre, you guys know where I come from when I do this. I come from I wanting the truth. If that was if I didn't want truth, and I wouldn't dive so hard into this, I wouldn't contradict a lot of the shit my friends say. Matter of fact, I think Margellan's first time I ever heard of Margellan's was.
Yeah. I was just gonna say that real quick. Like that shit that you're telling me about with these numbers and this body weight bullshit, the statistic to me, because I still believe that Morgellons or however you say it is something that's legit, and I think that these people, whoever they are, they're just taking whatever stats or whatever information they can and apply it to sensationalize it or to create content or whatever the case may be. And I think that's a shame, but I still definitely think Morgellons is legitimate. And but I don't think that statistic is anywhere near accurate or even valid. I think that's pure bull.
What if? I think I've said it to you before. What if? Yeah, the actuality of it that Margellans was realistically a steroided up Lyme disease.
Well, see now that to me that's more in line with my thinking. I definitely think it's akin to Lyme disease as far as like a platform. Like I think it's based on the same platform as far as the pathogen that actually goes in and does whatever it does. But I think that it's just like with anything else, and it's opportunistic. And if you as the host present the environment for which for it to take hold and do what it does, then you become that victim. Everybody's not everybody's not set up to basically suffer from Morgellons, just like everybody's not set up to suffer from cancer, or everybody's not set up to suffer from diabetes. These are all different illnesses or whatever the case may be that if your body is susceptible to it moving in and creating applicable function in your body, then it's going to do so. So to me, that's what it is. Definitely based off of like a Lyme's disease type platform, though, because I think it's a weapon. I don't think it's something that's natural.
See I think that's where we differ, because if it was if it were to be a bumped up version of Lyme disease, then it just to me is Lyme disease stronger. But if
Well,
it's
I don't. I don't think it's the same as Lyme's disease, but I think it's based on the same biological platform, meaning that it's not, from what they say, it's not understood as far as a cure. They don't know exactly how it occurs, um, and and even how it propagates. So but as far as it being like Lyme's disease, no, it's kind of like a tiger and a mountain lion. They're both felines, but they're completely different.
But
You know
it's
what I mean?
but see, um, the part I think that it's so difficult to grasp in it, that's how you is I don't think it's weaponized. I don't think it's a weapon and made, or I can't say that because it could be. Um, I don't
I
think
definitely think it's man-made.
I don't think it's like these nanobots that people are talking about. There's too much coming out that's here today that we could use. Telling you now,
Well,
those handheld
listen.
microscope things are a joke. I wish people would stop uploading videos with that shit.
See, look, I think nanobots are something that's misunderstood. Like, what do you think of when you think of a nanobot, or when you hear nanobot? What do you think of?
Just technology small enough at a nanoscale, basically. I mean, I know it's not, a transformer.
Like, I mean, but do you think it's like a little machine, like literally like a little robot of some sort,
Yes.
like an electric device?
Some, in a way, yes.
And I'm going to tell you that nanotechnology or a nanobot is nothing of the sort. And anybody that's telling you or putting out information that says that nanobots or some like microscopic electronic devices, they're full of shit. What nanobots are, they're literally taking the building blocks of life, proteins, the stuff that basically makes DNA and whatever, arginine, um, what's another one, L-cysteine, these types of things, and they literally, those proteins do certain things. So it's kind of hard to translate it per se, but just imagine, like, we'll say that you know arginine or whatever is the equivalent of a chainsaw. We'll say that cysteine or L-cysteine or whatever is the equivalent of a bulldozer, just to kind of give you an idea. Now, these proteins can go in and they can destroy things, cut them up, chop them up. They can go in and pair things up or repair things, do certain, perform certain tasks or whatever. This is what real nanotechnology is about. It's about creating viable, functioning things with proteins, the building blocks of life, the things that actually control and create cell function. This is where your nanotechnology is at. It has nothing to do with no microscopic electronic devices. So I think that's where a lot of people kind of get that technology confused. Now, no doubt there might be microscopic or extremely small electronic devices that could be classified as nanobots or whatever the case may be. But a true nanobot, as far as I'm concerned, is definitely based on a protein platform, biological. So and that's quite easy to propagate when you think about it.
And then it should be classified as like nanobiology.
Well, technically, yeah, technically that's what it is. But when you look at the word the nanobot, that's basically what it is. I mean,
Yeah, but nanobot and nanotechnology are two completely different. Or nanobots and
well,
nanobiology are two different things.
well, no, because you can create a nanobot through biological means. A bot is just a vehicle or a tool to carry out a function or whatever. It's
No,
just based on a biological platform.
but see, that's the other thing people are confused. When you refer to anything as nano, it's not a thing. It's just the size of. So nano is just the size of it.
Right, right.
So like when you do say nanobot or nanobiology or nano uh, mechanics or whatever, like you're referring to different things though. So if I was to say nanobot, it's definitely not the same thing as a anything any biological in any biological um chemical
Yeah,
or anything that is nano size.
but what I'm getting at is like a lot of people they kind of dismiss the idea of nanobots being weaponized or something like this being used, nefariously because they dismiss it because they think it's like an electronical device that's being turned into an aerosol or something and sprayed, whatever the case may be, and that's not it. To me, that's kind of like that's the equivalent of like misinformation where they're taking something that's true to a degree on some level or another as far as the nanotechnology and the nanobots and what these things really are and how they function, and they're attaching it to some bull. I mean, listen, when it comes down to like nanotechnology, you you cannot create anything smaller than a molecule. The thing that creates or the combination of things that create a structure in the first place. Nanotechnology is about building things on a nano scale. You can't do that unless you're manipulating the proteins. You know what I'm saying? So that's where the real nanotechnology or the nanobots, if you will, like I said, certain combinations of certain proteins perform certain things with surgical precision. So and this kind of ties into a lot of things. These are the types of technologies that people that have the resources and the know-how and the research, they can literally extend life or even in some way kind of cheat death. If you can go in and to the body on a nano scale and repair things like damaged cells, whether it's cancer or anything else, and repair it with a brand new healthy cell that's either derived from a stem cell or from other, sources or something like that. You could literally, you know, may not live forever, but if you say something like 300 or 400 years to an average person, that's like forever.
I see what you're saying.
This is the type of stuff that's not it's not science fiction. The technology exists right now for that to take place, and if that technology or even the idea of that technology exists, the odds of it being perfected are, you know numerous. It's almost, you know what I mean.
Yeah. Yeah, that way. Does make sense.
Well,
When you say
that's what I'm saying. The implications, and you've already got the stories of how the ancients and whoever else, blah blah blah, at one point in time they lived for thousands of years, and whatever the case may be. And yeah, there may be some truth to that kind of lend validity to that, or the understandings of the nanotechnology or the genetic manipulation and things on this level. So, for me to think that at one point in time people could possibly live for 1,000 years, it doesn't, I don't bat an eye at that because to me it seems completely and totally possible with today's technology.
what you're saying. Okay. Well, see, the problem is when you're explaining it and I'm thinking about it coming from someone that's can see the bigger, like I can shape my opinion on it based on what I know.
Right.
See, that's the problem though. It's that's not explained. So and I think they use nanobot, like you were saying, as you think bot in your head, think like a robot and taking
Exactly. Yeah.
over.
hmm
It's crazy.
That's one of the things that makes nanotechnology so dangerous because it's misunderstood and people literally think that it comes down to like, oh, they want to put little electronic devices. No, it's not. This is something. Nanotechnology is to the point where literally you can, through a syringe, you can inject virtually anything into anybody and and do virtually anything. I mean, think about it. You can inject people with genetic code. You can inject people with disease. Whatever you name it. You can inject people. Seriously. But this is, and people don't realize it, but we've been dealing with or living with the implications and results of nanotechnology for a long time, and this is through the means of like engineered illnesses. You know what I'm saying? So it's been around for a while. It's been around for a long time.
What would you say that the reason for it, or the reason for making it something, making it an issue now?
What do you mean making it an issue?
Well, not an issue. Because what you're saying, like it's been around forever, but it's only been what, maybe past 10 years that we're actually hearing about nanotechnology.
Well, it's just like everything else, though. With the internet, hitting the like an all-time high as far as traffic or whatever, the information spreads more easily. Plus, all the information is coming out. It's something that can't be stopped. It's something that a handful of people may have known about at one time, but with the internet now, they can reach out and it just kind of spreads or whatever. So the fact that it's only been talked about recently, like within the past 10 years, see, now I can see, I've always been into kind of like the nanotechnology and all this weird stuff ever since I was a kid. And I used to talk about stuff like this when I was like 14 and 15 years old. And people used to look at me like I had, a second head growing out of my neck. So like seriously, like none of this stuff is new to me, but I was always into the science scene. So things that weren't, you know, basically out in the mainstream or public knowledge like that, I kind of knew about. Like, listen, I can tell you right now, damn near 20 years ago, and it still hasn't hit the mainstream as far as availability, but it exists. There's a film, and it operates just like a solar panel. And it's literally like Mylar. If you know what Mylar is, it's like a heavy gauge plastic.
Yeah, I know it is.
And basically what it does is it collects solar energy just like a solar panel. You can wrap the stuff around the house. You can integrate it into shingles. You can actually make multi-layered like smart devices and print the electronic circuits onto the film. It's crazy the stuff that they have, and you're not going to see it for quite some time, because if it does make it to the mainstream, it probably won't even be in our lifetime, because they keep milking the technology that they have and letting it out slowly. I'm telling you, dude, it's crazy. But they're not. The stuff is nothing new. It's nothing new.
Yeah, shit's crazy. Well, that's shit. Hearing stuff like that is exactly why I started, doing like the in-depth research on different things. Like I was doing, you were talking about how long nanotechnology has actually been around, really. And I was looking up like DARPA and all those places, kind of obsessed with those ones. But basically, it's like, yeah, they have all this stuff that we're starting to talk about, and we're like, yeah, this is just coming out. It's like, they've been having that shit. Like, I think I've told you a few times now. Like when I was a kid, my uncle that was in the Navy, he was telling me about stealth boats and stealth submarines when I was 8, 9 years old. You know what I'm saying? That's like 25 years ago. So,
and you ain't seen a stealth boat until like maybe 10, 15 years ago, if that.
Yeah, exactly. I think the first one came out 2014. I think it was like the production of was in 2014.
I want to say it was like 2009. They started talking about that. It's like a pontoon type It's got the two wings or whatever, not wings or whatever, but it's built like a pontoon boot.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know
But
what
it
you're
looks
talking
like
about.
a stealth fighter.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
All right. Well, that
Well,
boot,
that's one of. But yeah,
they started talking about that. Yeah. Well, that kind of boot, they started talking about that. You know, it was like maybe seriously like probably 2007 or 2008. They already had the boot. The boat was probably built for 10 years before they even started talking about showing it to the public.
Yeah.
The helicopters, I don't even know if they have them right
Yep.
now, but they got a military helicopter where the tail rotor is built into the tail itself. It does like all kind of crazy weird stuff, you know, whatever. It's like it's some badass chopper. It's supposed to be, you know, whatever.
You're talking about the was it?
It's a stealth chopper. It's
Yeah, yeah.
black and it's all
But-
angular, whatever looking.
Well, I know they call it something. I forget what it's called.
You ain't talking about the Black Hawk, are you?
No. It's fuck. I forget what it's called.
Because it might be called a Raptor or something. It's something completely new.
I'm about to put it on the screen. I can figure out which one. Okay. Yeah, there.
But even like the stealth bombers that they fly now, like those things have been out since like the early 70s, late 60s.
Yeah, I saw a documentary
we didn't start
on
seeing
that.
them.
The H4, or this is what's on here right now on the screen is it says America's first stealth helicopter, AH-64 Apache attack helicopter.
Yep, there you go. I think that's it.
Yeah, I've never seen this one. I know there's another one that SEAL team whatever using when they did the whole there it is. No. Looks like it.
Yeah. I could be mistaken, but I swear this thing flies vertical.
I wouldn't doubt it. See, that's the other thing. I've seen
and
at,
backwards
at air shows,
and backwards and backwards, like it does some kind of crazy stuff.
That is crazy. Because I've seen helicopters do backflips, you know, like back rolls or whatever you call it.
Right.
And people look at me like I was fucking crazy. It was like, no, I've I've seen it.
Now look, that chopper that you just showed here, that one that we were just talking about, that thing's probably damn near 20 years old, I bet. At least.
Oh yeah, okay, I can believe that.
That boat down there is probably pushing 30 years old. Easy.
And you're talking about the one I have on the screen now, the pontoon one you were talking about? Or actually, I know exactly which one you're talking about.
It was just down there at the bottom of the page. It looks like a pyramid. That one right there.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
Yeah, the one
that
I have.
one.
All right. I think you see a little bit more of a lag on these. Okay.
That's probably as old as at least the stealth bomber, or maybe even the Black Hawk.
Damn. Check. This is. Why do I think this is a submarine? Yeah,
nope,
this is a submarine.
It's a boat.
No. I have another one. It'll pop up in a second.
Oh.
You're talking to me ahead of the YouTube.
Yeah.
I should.
Okay.
I share on the Hangouts, but then everyone has to watch like two different screens.
Right.
Okay, there'll be two. All right, yeah, the one on the screen right now. This is a stealth. This is one of the stealth submarines.
Okay.
Yeah,
I thought that was a boat.
Yeah, I did too. And then I zoomed in and I could see the guys standing outside of the hatch.
They got it. There's a boat they got that's like this. I'm pretty sure it's not a sub. It's a boat.
Well, the first picture that we were just looking at, that was one that looked almost exactly like it. This one, it'll pop up in a second. Because the one that just looking at and this one on the screen, they should be popping up on your screen right about now. They look the same, but they had the different names when I was looking at it. I didn't know what it is because maybe this one's
see that That's the one that I'm looking at now that I thought was the boot.
Click on it. Because they look pretty much. But the one I was looking at, you know how it has the little small pictures in the bottom? One of them was it coming up out of the water.
And see, if this was a sub, I can't imagine it would have windows. You know what I mean? In the front like that.
U.S. Navy Sea Shadow Stealth Ship.
And I think the whole purpose of that design is because it makes like no wake. It barely makes a wake or any kind of signature, and that skirt like hides crap like that.
Okay. Well, yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, that's the other thing I've actually had to explain to a few people that the definition of stealth. So it's not doesn't mean it's going this super fast speed. It just means it can't be detected by certain radars.
Right, and they use that with the panels, the shape, the flatness, and the like radar absorbing.
Yeah, exactly.
Material and shit like that.
Yeah, the flatness of the material sends the signal in a wrong direction.
So it can't go back to where,
yeah. So basically, instead of getting that signature of, because a lot of people don't realize when they're using like sonar or radar, they're seeing a pulse image of an object. So
size and speed.
Yeah. So if it was like a 100-foot boat, you would see a signature that was about 100 feet long. Whereas in this stealth technology, a 100-foot boat looks like a bird.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but it's yeah. All of this shit had to have been out so much longer. So it had to have been around a lot longer than we assumed. Yeah, I couldn't get that one out.
think about it like this. This is kind of like an easy way to gauge the technology as far as these boats and airplanes are concerned. Anything that looks remotely similar to like the SR-71 Blackbird.
Okay.
Anything that looks remotely close to that, which all these stealth products do, it was all developed within probably 5 years of each other, if that. If they weren't being all developed at the same time. Because when the military develop these things, they're gonna develop something for the air, they're gonna develop something for the land, and they're gonna develop something for the water. They're not gonna
hang on. You almost had it and you fucking ruined it. It's land, air, and sea. Goddamn East Coast people.
Whatever.
Oh, and for the record,
what I'm talking about.
I've heard you say it a few times, and you were talking about it, and I completely forgot to say something. But yes, everyone from the East Coast sounds like you're singing a song when you say water. And I say that because my mom and my family's from New York, and me and my brother.
What are you talking about, man?
Yeah, me and my brother make fun of my mom all the time because she sounds like she's singing songs when she speaks. It's just how it sounds. It's water.
Water, man.
So like,
I've been saying water all my life.
When someone says it from the East Coast, it sounds like you're supposed to start dancing it. Where else is it? I just had to get that out. It was just a random thought that I had remembered. Where is it?
No problem. It's all good.
Now, here's the problem I have. So we were just looking at the stealth helicopters, stealth warships, and I think those are all just bullshit things. I think those are look at me's. Because
it definitely. See, the thing is, once they release something to the public, they got something that's much more kick ass that you don't know about.
Oh yeah, so
get down.
Let's see where I want to show you this.
They're not gonna show you their latest creation. They're gonna show you. They might even be showing you, 2 creations behind, but they're not going to give you their latest trick. They're never going to show you their latest trick until like 20 or 30 years after the fact.
Oh yeah, definitely. Because I'm pretty sure a lot of people don't know that. Yes, military has figured out invisibility. That's the crazy part.
Dude, yeah, but they were working on that back with the Philadelphia experiment. This ain't something new. This is something they've been working on for a long time, and it's all about bending light.
Yeah, but a lot of people don't know about it, period, and then yet don't know that it's it's implemented into the military as we speak.
Yeah.
Let me pull up this picture real quick. So you guys see what we're looking at right now, right? Besides for all the stupid ads on the side of this crap, pick some random picture, but it kind of looks all stealthy and fast, right?
Oh, see nothing.
It'll pop. I keep forgetting there's a lag.
Yeah, maybe if I try to refresh it or something, it'll catch up.
No, it's my OBS. I have the lag in it.
No,
So...
it did. It went right to it.
Okay, so what you're looking at now, that's a drone.
That's what?
A drone.
Okay.
All these you see on the screen, it'll pop up in a second. All drones. Every single one that you're looking at. That's the problem. All the stealth stuff they're showing us, all manned planes and ships. Fuck all those. Those are all we have people in them, and these are what do the thing. No, everything's being done with drones now.
Well, yeah, but that's as a result from them wanting to save the money, because now that they see they don't have to send people over in stealth planes. That's why they're releasing it to the public, so the public can see it. They're not showing you what they got, behind the scenes. Like even these drones, they're showing you the drone. If they're showing you the drone, they got something like a drone 5.0 that's like 10 times better that they ain't telling you about. If they're not beyond the drone, they're probably doing shit now that makes a drone look like a damn like a wind-up toy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This is just their latest thing at their disposal because it's cheap, it's easy, and people know about it.
What I was doing is I was doing some research on a DARPA site, and they have a drone with that satellite technology in it, and they made a point to let everyone know that it's like its flight time 16 hours. 16 hours, it can fly anywhere it wants without refuel. That's a whole other story, refueling, because they can refuel these things like it's nothing. Now, when people are talking to me about satellites and how do we get GPS, all that crap, drones. Drones are exactly how it happens.
Yep.
What do you call it? As of today, there are average of about 2,500.
What's up, George Garcia?
Oh yeah. What's up, George? There's an average of 2,500 drone flights in the United States at any given time.
Mm-hmm.
And that in itself is where you go, okay, that's going to be the issue. First of all, welcome to those are our satellites, people. Drones that just fly around all the fucking time. That's all they do.
They got command centers that are full of like military personnel basically playing video games all day, flying drones. That's what they do.
Yeah.
It's like shifts, and then one soldier get up and leave because his shift is over, and the next one will sit down and take over the control and fly the drone. Yep. That's what they do.
Yeah, I remember watching a documentary on that. It's like so they had to actually figure out a program for the soldiers that were doing that to affect, I don't know how you even call it, but basically they had to teach people to feel why they were flying these drones. That makes sense. So
what do you mean feel like a simulator?
No. So if you went outside right now and killed somebody, you're gonna feel what you just did. You're gonna feel remorse. You may feel, if you're crazy, you may feel happy. I don't know, but there's remorse to killing somebody. They teach these things to Marines, pilots. That fighter pilots. Like they teach those type of coping mechanisms. when they go to war. They had to literally figure out a whole new program to teach the drone pilots the same coping mechanisms, because what was happening was
okay, got you.
what was happening was is these kids were doing all this and not feeling anything. Like they would just go out, have a day of, shooting some people with a drone and go home, and it was nothing.
It was like a video game.
Exactly. And
But see, the thing,
that's also why video games in the past 20 years took such a huge leap from Nintendo.
well, what's crazy about it is they actually, like the platform that's used in the military to fly the drones is based off of a PlayStation. Like the controls are exactly like a PlayStation.
I saw that.
It's literally a PlayStation controller.
It could kind of look like, no, people.
No, it literally is a
looks
PlayStation
like-
controller.
Exactly.
Same
Fucking
exact
insane.
buttons. Yeah. But
Scary
that's
insane.
that's kind of how they desensitize and train the public, or actually get free training, for the people that join the military, because it's based off of a platform that they've been playing on for 20 some years of their life before they even join the military. You know what I mean? It's nuts. A PlayStation controller, and that's how they're out flying damn drones.
I'm looking at pictures of of all the control centers. They definitely amped them up and look a lot better, but they still just look like
Right.
they look like a what do you call them, gamer. Looks like a gamer's paradise.
Yeah, I'm telling you right now, if I ever found myself in a situation where I had to fly something and the controller was set up like a PlayStation, oh, I'd be good.
Oh,
I
I
know
can tell you right
I
now,
know exactly what to do.
my son's 10 years old and he could handle some business if you put him in front of one of these. Like, okay, now this whole setup that everyone's in is a gamer setup, and if you look at it, like where the guy's lap is, you can see the handheld controller. It looks a little bit more
Mhm.
beefed up, but that's PlayStation controller.
Yeah, the one it was a documentary I watched. It was years ago. It was literally like they showed you. It was about training drone pilots, and they kind of touched on that, how they got to deal with certain uh, psychological issues when they're launching missiles or whatever, blah blah blah. But they teach them how to desensitize them to it. But anyway, one of the things, like they were saying, one of the biggest hurdles that they had to overcome was coming up with a universal platform that was easy to use and people could easily be trained on. They did all this research and they came up with the idea to base it off of a PlayStation controller, because and they based it off of the unit cells of PlayStations. So they went ahead and created this thing, and when they were showing one of the soldiers real time, like flying the drone, patrolling somewhere over in Afghanistan, and then like his shift was over, the dude literally put the thing on like autopilot, got up from out of the cubicle, left. Another soldier came and sat down, took control of the drone, and started patrolling. And it was literally, and when I say it was literally with the PlayStation controller, it was literally the guy picked up a controller, it had a cord connected to it, and it was shaped literally just like a PlayStation controller.
Yeah, no, I've seen the one you're talking about, and it is ridiculous how it looks.
It was crazy.
I'm wondering if they changed them. It's actually right here. I wonder if they changed them because of the resemblance of it.
Well, they probably did try to steer it away from the exact design or whatever the case may be, because people were trying to link the violence of the video games with the military, and all the militaries, whatever. So they had to kind of like clean it up.
That's crazy.
It was nuts though.
Yeah,
Yep.
and I think that's probably the worst part of it. How basically they've made all of us battle ready.
Yeah.
People don't realize it.
Through video games, one way or another.
Yeah, I've never served in the military. I played a lot of video games, first person shooters. Went to paintballing. I have a very good idea of a battle scheme. I shouldn't. Never been to war, never been in the military, but I know what a battle scheme and how to implement one is. That says a lot about what they've done and how well they've done it.
Yep.
It's crazy. Yeah, it's just I'm looking at
That's
all these
just
pictures of these drone centers, and it just looks like a hangout.
yeah. It looks just like you ever see the, well, I don't know, bro, around here they got these big ass trucks. It's like a mobile gaming unit,
Yeah.
and they'll drive literally, and it'll have like 12, 13 monitors inside set up where like 12 or 13, 14 people can sit down inside there and game video games.
Or actually, here's one of the military command centers. Oh, it's about to come up right now. It looks exactly like one of those game. It looks like exactly like one of those gaming trailers you're talking about.
Gaming center, yeah. Yep. I wouldn't doubt for a minute if the person that came up with that idea for the mobile joint was an ex-military person.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, that's exactly what they look like.
The military was like, you know what? Man, this is probably a good idea. Let me try this.
Dude sitting there, how are we gonna figure out how to win this war as he's playing video games? I got it.
Yo, listen, and it's another one too, and I wish I could remember where I saw it. I think it was on YouTube somewhere, but they was actually showing you how some of these military personnel, like these big ass, they got like these big ass I want to call it's like a warehouse. It ain't really a warehouse, but it literally is kind of like a warehouse, and it'll be like 1,000 cubicles in it, and there'll be military personnel using the computers, whether they're actually doing personal shit or military shit. I don't know.
Check this out.
But a lot of
you're explaining this right now, and look at the picture that I popped up right as you started saying it.
What's it, like a military cubicle?
It's
with
literally it looks like a warehouse with a super big screen and probably looks like 50 to 60 people sitting at desks in front of it. And it doesn't look like a classroom. You can see the computers, and it says it's a drone control center. But it has that.
I can't see it yet.
It has one of those odd images to it where it's like that place just seems too big for so little people. They gotta be doing some crazy shit in there.
Oh, yo, no. See, I know what you're talking about, and I seen the picture, but now it's like the thing is trying to reload or something.
Oh no, I was gonna try to make the picture bigger, but then I went back. It's that lag again.
See, I can see the one picture up there. No, now just imagine something with a ceiling that's about half the height of that, like 3 times dimmer, with like 100 cubicles in it, soldiers all on the computer doing whatever.
Damn, that kind of sounds like a sweatshop.
well, but pretty much, I mean, but think about it. Pretty much what it is, it's kind of like, just imagine how you have in a military, or you got a mess hall, you got an infirmary. Well, this would be like the equivalent of the computer room, or the communications room, or the game room, or whatever, where everybody goes to get on the internet, or whatever the case may be. But what I was getting at is like it was a video that I saw, and literally it was like one of these setups where it was like a warehouse, and it might have been like 1,000 soldiers in there. Each one of them was on a computer. But this video was talking about how these people on the computers were posing as trolls, like, you know, being jackasses on the internet at different sites, whether they were like what do you call these white supremacist sites, shit like that. Yeah, it was crazy though. But it was what it was. It was one of the soldiers. He was trying to expose what these other soldiers were doing.
Oh, okay.
It was one of those types of things. So he kind of had like his little hidden camera, and he was walking around, and you could see all the different computer screens of people like on this, you know, doing questionable shit, and they're supposed to be in the military. What I was getting at. I was like, I wonder if they're actually doing that on their own free time, their own free will, or is this something that they're being sanctioned to do by the military? So I was just wondering that.
I wouldn't doubt if they I wouldn't say force, but made it mandatory, because once you hit those sign those dotted lines, you literally have to do what they tell you.
Yeah, well, that's what GI stands for. GI stands for government issue. Government issue. That's why you can't, you know, if you go into the military and you get a tattoo and it's somewhere where it can be seen or whatever, you know, you can be charged with defacing government property.
Did they? I think they changed. Oh, no, I'm thinking for
literally.
cops. Yeah, you're right. I was actually thinking they just passed a law here, at least here in California that I know of, where police officers can now actually have tattoos. Because it used to be fine, and then they switched it, and they switched it again.
Yeah, because they were getting sued for discrimination or whatever, blah blah blah. Because I see cops with sleeves now, and I'm like, what? When the hell they start letting that shit get, you know?
Yeah, that also goes along with like haircuts. Like your hair is not supposed to be more than like 2-3 inches as a guy, and like chin length or something as a girl. It's like it reminds me of the Eminem song. You know, the one where he did at the music awards, where he came in with like 100 people dressed that looked like him.
Yeah, the real Slim Shady.
Yeah, it was like, damn, that's crazy.
What they need to do is start getting on them about their weight and shit.
Yeah, that's also the other thing.
Cops, like,
I didn't know that to become a cop, you have to pass only like these couple, like there's like few actual physical things you got to do.
On some real, if you can make it through the academy, that's all you got to worry about.
Yeah.
That's like 12 weeks or whatever it is of training. If you make it through that, you don't go through no other physical training. Most departments don't do nothing like that.
And what I hear is that a lot of people that join the academy are there so long and learn so much based on the fact that they're told if you learn, what is it, like criminal justice or something like that, then you have an opportunity to become a detective at some point. That's the only reason why they do so much of it. Like a lot of the stuff cops go to school for or train for isn't to become a cop. It's to advance past being a cop.
Well, yeah, but the thing like with the academy type deal is that's not really what it's for. The academy is basically to assess certain things on a basic level, just so you can enter the field as far as being a detective or a rogue officer. If you can't get through the physical, I mean, if you can get through the physical portion of the academy, that's all you got to worry about. Once you get through the physical portion, the odds of you or facing some physical test further down the line is slim to none.
I know that. I think what is it I don't know how many years. I know they have to do the shooting range test.
Once a year, they got to qualify and shoot.
Yeah.
Or maybe twice a year, depending on the department. Other than that, some departments have like a bicycle squad promote the physical activity. So yeah, you might have where they might have once a month or whatever, a cop has to do a bicycle duty other than that, the fuck? If you can ride a damn bike, you good. Once you get through that academy, you good.
I wonder,
You know?
I wonder how extensive it is to become a canine officer.
Well, I mean, you're gonna go through the same training plus some dog training interaction, and that dog's gonna live with you. You ain't gonna be no canine officer, and that dog don't live with you. I can tell you that. That ain't gonna happen.
That dog be like, I'm not helping you. Fuck, you left me in the kennel last night.
Well, I mean, you can do it. I mean, you can have like a dog that can actually partner up with somebody that it doesn't live with. Yeah, but that's your partner, and it's a canine. You're gonna want that dog to live with you. You know what I mean? And be, I couldn't imagine being a canine officer and not the dog, having the dog not live with me. That's crazy.
Oh yeah, I couldn't imagine. I think the bond they have is would be impossible if they did that. I don't even know if it's a bond.
Yeah,
Maybe it's
that's
just a
why
dog's
they
instinct.
need to live with you. Well, now see, this is the reason why, in my mind, whether you're a canine officer or any other type of person that does something with a dog that you depend on that level, you need to live with that dog because that dog needs to see you as the leader of the pack. And
Yes.
right, and if you don't, and if that dog doesn't live with you, it's not gonna view you as the leader of the pack because it doesn't live with you. It doesn't, it might see you as the leader of the pack when it's with you, whatever.
Yeah.
But nah, that's some other type shit there.
It's just crazy. Just the whole aspect of how everything works. I can't wait until you start seeing police officers with fucking drone dogs.
Man, you know what? Try to find a video, dude. They got some. I mean, that's not for officers. I ain't gonna say it's for officers, but I'm gonna tell you what it is. It's a big ass. It basically is like the size of maybe a little bit smaller than a horse.
Uh-huh.
It runs around. It's got hydraulic and electronic power. Trots and jumps and gallops and shit like a
Yeah.
deer or a horse, but it's
one?
all it's.
Is that one that dude
You
jump
know what
kick,
I'm
like
talking
drop
about?
kicks and to try to knock it over, but it doesn't go over?
Yeah, yeah.
That's funny shit. That's crazy.
Oh, I mean, it's not really. I mean, think about it. It's cool, but it's scary at the same time. They could literally create these electronic, and I hate to be all Orwellian or pessimistic and whatever, but literally they can create like millions of these things that can literally run faster than you. Obviously, they're stronger because they're mechanical. They got weapons, whatever the case may be. You can't knock them over. What the hell are you gonna do to it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like a damn like an E version of a devil dog.
Yeah. Well, they also make those. It's a exoskeleton, but they make suits for Marines too. They have those.
Yeah, super soldiers.
Yeah, jumping over. What kind I was reading thing? They jump, like supposedly, I haven't even seen video of it. Supposedly,
25, 30 feet.
yeah, they're supposed to be able to just launch over walls and be able to like flip over cars and shit. I don't know how it works. It doesn't make any sense to me. But like I said,
Can pick up like 600 or 700 pounds with one arm.
yeah, like just crazy shit you can think of.
Yeah, it's all hydraulic powered suit,
That's
exoskeleton. Crazy. Yeah, run up to 25, 30 miles per hour.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Under their own power, and basically their body movement is amplified by the suit. Yeah. And the suit turns it into mechanical mechanical movement. Yeah, it's just crazy.
Wonder how many G forces they feel. Yeah, that's fucking crazy.
Yeah, I'm telling you, technology's a motherfucker, man, and people just don't realize how advanced the technology really is.
Well, that's the other thing. Not only, I mean, a lot of people don't know how advanced the military really is, but the scary part is that a lot of people aren't even willing to admit some of these things actually exist. I talked to a guy earlier about the cloaking, invisibility, and he talked to me like I was the stupidest person in the world.
Like they can't do that.
No, you're just ridiculous. Like, are you serious? Like that's they've been out with like I was telling because when I started talking about it, I was talking about the Marines that were cloaking it, and then
Yeah.
when and then when where is it? Okay, yeah. So then when I told him about how like Abram tanks were doing the same thing, he like lost his shit. He was like, "You're the stupidest person." I'm like, "All right, man, this is too much. I can't even explain shit to people like that."
Yeah, I was about to say, I think I might have told you about this before, and this shit goes back like 20, 25 years. This is how old this is. And like I said before, and people was looking at me like I had fucking 10 heads growing out the side of my neck. But just think about it like this. Either tell you is some shit that I came across 25 years ago, or I'm a fucking genius. and I am not no fucking genius. I am not even close to being a genius. Now, I'm gonna tell you what these motherfuckers had 25 years ago. And this was a suit. I don't know which branch it was. It might have been the Marines, but the fucking suit. So basically it made the fucking it made the soldier invisible. Now, how it worked was, you know what sequins are, right?
Yes.
That puff that he has on his shirt and whatever else. All right. So just imagine a suit covered in fucking millions of these sequins, but the sequins themselves are basically like computer monitors. They're like little TVs. So what it would do, the sequins on the back of the suit would transfer the image. So if you were standing in front of a fucking pine tree, the pixels or the sequins on the back of the suit would transfer the image of the pine tree to the pixels in the front of the suit. So you would blend the fuck in with the shit that's behind you.
And the worst part is, yeah, and the worst part is that they've been testing it on all of us for a long time. How many people have seen David Copperfield make the Empire State Building disappear, make tanks disappear, make
or
planes?
Fucking yeah, bitch.
That's how they do it. Empire State Building. That's exactly how they do it.
Like I see that motherfucker eat an airplane and fart confetti. Yo, like what the fuck? How he do that shit?
Magic.
Yeah, magic.
Yeah, that's some funny shit right there.
Like I said, man, that shit was 25 fucking years ago.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Matter of fact, the first time I even heard of it,
motherfuckers is like, big.
Yeah, the last time I heard about it, or the first time I ever had heard about it was when that David Blaine guy made I think it was two elephants disappear. After I saw that shit, I was like, I need to look into some research and visibility. Let me question.
How the fuck did he do that?
Same thing. It's just same cloaking
with
aspect.
The transference of the image.
Yeah. That's how they do all those things.
Because a lot of them use Mylar and shit. Okay.
I think they did for that one. Empire State Building one, I think the way, because I remember they wouldn't let people sit on one side of it, so I'm pretty sure it was one of those. It was like whatever they would use if they decided to paint one of those type of buildings or drape a big banner over it or something.
Okay.
But the reality of it is not like real people. Magic, disappearing shit. It just doesn't work that way.
Now you can actually bend light and shit like that also to cloak a fucking solid object. You know, you can actually do that.
Yeah.
I mean, if you got the technology and know-how, so that's possible by bending light to make something disappear.
I know there's like at least 5 or 6 different, roughly 5 or 6 different ways of cloaking.
Sound is probably another one. I never really looked into it, but I'm sure on some level, sound will make shit disappear because it would probably, you know, fuck with the image somehow sooner or later, or at least the person observing it.
Yes.
I don't know.
Well, shit. Well, think about it. If we're talking, like you were just saying, man, we were talking about how they cloak, they make things look invisible, all that shit. Imagine what they do now. Shit.
Yeah.
That shit's crazy.
Yeah, it is.
Well, sir.
The fucking Philadelphia experiment, that shit was kind of crazy.
I started looking into that because I remember you had brought it up before, so I'm still kind of doing little bits and pieces of research into that.
That shit's weird.
But I actually got to go because I got to put little man to bed. Sitting here staring at me like I'm crazy.
Yeah, I'm about to go to fuck bed anyway.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think you're like an hour and a half, 2 hours past what you told me. Normally, you start like unwinding.
Yeah, you know.
But
yeah, it's all good.
I am honored to have you. Thank you, sir. Because hey, Sean G channel's back. I'd also like to announce that I have officially hit over 600 subs. I actually did this a week and a half ago, and YouTube decided that I don't deserve it, and they took them like at least 15 of my subs just disappeared. And
motherfuckers.
Earlier today, I actually hit 614, I believe. So I just want to thank everybody for that shit because I don't even know 600 people. So obviously, you guys have heard me before and subbed to the channel. So I do appreciate that. Bigger and better things now that I got this channel back and I have the other one. So keep listening in, and I do appreciate you guys being here. Dre, you're always welcome on my panels. You know that shit, man. But
appreciate that, brother.
I think what I'm gonna do is in sometime this coming week, one of the days of the week, I'll let you know, Dre. But what I'm gonna do is I'm going to set up a I Am a Flat Earther show. I think I kind of said something to you earlier about it, Dre. But kind of at that moment where I've been around so long now, and in honor of the 600 subs and Sean G channel coming back on, I kind of want to do like a memory lane type stream sometime during the week. I'll let everyone know before I do it, but that's in the works. But
that's what's up.
Yeah, other than that, again, man, thanks for stopping by. Always fucking welcome.
No problem, brother.
Yep.
Appreciate it.
Yep, and I'm gonna do more.
Peace out to everybody in the chat.
Yep, I'm gonna do some research on G forces and shit like that because I realize there's still so much more to go into, and what you were talking about with the nanobot and all that kind of stuff. I don't think I looked at it into that. I've looked into it the way you were describing it, but I don't think I did enough to separate that part. The difference of type shit. So
right.
Definitely looking forward to that conversation once I figure that out and we can do that again. I think that nanotechnology in itself is a topic that will never get old and/or not have something to be talking about.
True that.
But with that said, I am gonna go now. I'll probably hit you up tomorrow to just say what's up. And everybody else. Yep. Everybody in the chat.
I should be freed up by around 7 or 8 my time.
Oh, okay, perfect. Yeah, perfect. And then, oh yeah, that's perfect because now my internet just started going crap again. So it's actually a good time to end it anyway. So with that said, people, thank you, love you guys. Blah this, that. Yeah, I keep it flat. Everyone knows that it's already flat. So peace.
Peace.
I honestly think you ought to sit down calmly, take a stress pill, and think things over.